Hello, my friends. Welcome to God Focus this morning. The title of today's episode, Not Drawn Away. There's an old phrase that says, curiosity killed the cat. It originated before the end of the 1600s. The meaning was a warning to not be nosy or too drawn into experimentation. It implies that being overly curious can lead to danger. Human beings, especially young adults today, are drawn to try all sorts of things, from drugs and alcohol to all sorts of sinful experimentation. All too often, when we become curious about the things of this life, we end up in a mess. Many people have lost their lives by trying drugs just once. Sheep are curious and often want to see what's on the other side of the fence. They are not well established without a shepherd. If we are not well established in our faith, we will be easily drawn away. This is why we need to be rooted and grounded in Jesus Christ, so that curiosity about the things of this life will not draw us away. The old saying, the grass is not always greener on the other side of the fence, means with every situation it is not always as pretty a picture as Satan tries to paint it. God is the master painter. We can trust what he paints for our lives to be a masterpiece. He can paint the peace and the joy that we really need in our lives. James 1:14 and 15. But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed. Then when lust hath conceived, it bringeth forth sin, and sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death. This verse is referring to eternal death or spiritual death, but there are times that sin turns into physical death also. It is not a sin to be tempted. Only when we are drawn away and that lust is carried out is it a sin. Satan will constantly try to draw us away from God, especially if he knows we are serious about our faith walk. Satan will not bother those that are lukewarm or going through the motions. He wants to cause the ones that are in the spotlight and the ones that are on fire for God to fall, because he knows it will cause others to lose heart and fall also. We cannot put our faith in a preacher or a worship leader. We have to keep our eyes on the shepherd. Only he can truly lead. Don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying we don't need church leadership and pastors, but we should only follow them as they follow Christ. Blindly following someone just because they say they are a pastor can be a scary thing to do. This is why we need to know the word and make sure the pastor is aligned with that word. Sheep are easily distracted by insects, flies, and storms. Christians can be easily distracted if we are not established in our faith. If we do not stay close to the shepherd, we will be distracted by life. Luke 21:34. And take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness and the cares of this life, and so that day come upon you unaware. The word surfeiting means to indulge in one's appetites excessively. We are to be careful not to indulge in sinful appetites or allow the cares of this life to distract us to the point that we do not hear our shepherd. This is another reason I encourage you to keep your God focus. I'm a firm believer as long as we can keep our focus fixed on God, the enemy does not have a chance. It is when we allow our focus to waver that we can get drawn away into sin. Philippians 4:8. Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these things. This verse tells us what to keep our focus on, and if you look at the adjectives, they are all characteristics of God. He is honest, just, pure, lovely, and of good report. The worship of our Lord takes our minds and our focus off of ourselves and our lusts. Worship gives us a better perspective of our relationship with God and keeps our minds set on the right thing, God. Luke 9:23 and 24. And he said to them all, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross daily and follow me. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it, but whosoever will lose his life for my sake, the same shall save it. Jesus was telling his disciples that they would be facing some hard things. He told them to take up their cross daily and to follow him. The next verse could be taken two ways. First, we all know that many have lost their physical lives and been martyred for the gospel of Christ. This could also mean to lose the life that we have planned, lose the focus we have on the things of this life and put our focus on the things of God. We can lose the life we were living when we die out to self and live a life fully devoted to Christ. He is our shepherd. We need to follow him and not allow our attention to be drawn away to things that have no purpose in the eternal. Thanks for watching. Until next time, be bold, be brave, and keep your God focus. Like, share, and subscribe for more encouragement. Have a wonderful day.